Howdy.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. You are Matthew
Yes. Yeah, we spoke earlier today on the on
on the
that.
live.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay, so I believe I mentioned on the live what I was hoping to accomplish. I'm trying to get, 20 influencers to go live using the co-host feature together
Hmm.
to cross promote and get and share audience, right?
Right.
That's the ultimate goal. So, and I think that's the quickest way to get to 1 million or 20 million followers
Hmm.
by cross promoting each other.
Right.
Um, so everybody that I talk to loves that idea, but no one is willing to put in the work, right? Which is unfortunate.
Hmm.
But I think if I start it and they see progress, and a lot of my followers came from doing live events. So I used to do it every day.
Hmm.
My co-host used to get 200 views on his videos. Now he gets millions
Yep.
because we brought in a lot of followers.
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping to do.
Hmm.
But then again, I was doing it every day and there was way too much work. So
Yep.
I'm thinking once a week or twice a week, and judging it from there. So what type of work do you do, or what type of following do you want to get?
Right. So right now, I do have a day job. I am a IT specialist for the Department of Defense by day. So I work in top secret government facilities, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Very IT based. But
Okay.
my strong suit, which is what helped me kind of rise to the ranks quickly, was my communication skills and leadership skills. So I've had to prove my own worth in that sense, but that's why I branched out on my own, and that's why I started my management consulting company, was so that I could help C-suite executives and business owners to create positive cultures. Because if you invest in your people and you create a positive work environment, it reflects in customer service, it reflects in year over year revenue growth, and it reflects in um, like 2 to 6x the net income, right? So I did a whole bunch of research on that, but that's where I'm going to. So that's
Okay.
like what my big
So
overarching
5 years
goal is.
from today, you want to be running your own management consulting firm?
So the right now it's me, right? I do the management consulting on my own. I think 5 years from now I would either want to have grown this business or have it evolved a little bit, where I would step into other companies with my team and do the culture turnaround that way. So right now it's a consulting basis because it's done with you, but I think that a done for you service to a done with you retainer would be a lot more valuable.
Okay. All right. And how many followers do you have now?
Right now, over hmm, I think over everything I have maybe 500.
Okay. And what's
But
your
I
goal?
post. Oh, um, I want to own a private jet one day. That's the easiest way to say it, but that's not the driving force. That's where I want to get to. Yes, I'm willing to put in that kind of effort to get there. I As soon as I clock out of work, I clock in on my own business, right? Um, but my driving function is that working in those high pressure, high like fast moving environments in the for the public sector. I literally pulled a patch of hair out of the back of my head from how poor um, everything was communicated. Right, there was no um, what's the word? Like there was no expectation management. There was no, hey, this is what you're going to do. There was no very little feedback. There was very little room for growth, so to speak. Of, hey, this is where we see you going. This is where we see you in the future. The pay was obviously atrocious, but the leadership, I think, was the poorest part, and I think that was the part that I really latched onto. And so that's why I do what I do, is so no one else has to go through that. Because for me, it was just a patch of hair, but for someone else, it might have been worse. I'll put it that way. So
Oh,
I
heart
have I have
attack.
thick skin. Yeah, heart
Okay.
attack. I don't like to get creative in that kind of angle.
Right. Okay. So let me tell you my vision.
Okay.
Um, a number of years ago, I was watching a live event on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
When I had a LinkedIn account, I no longer have a LinkedIn account because I was thrown out 8 times because speaking against COVID mandates and human trafficking, that goes against community standards.
Okay.
So I'm banned for life. And
Okay.
I've tried 8 times to go back and I'm banned for life, guaranteed.
Mm.
So, but while I was on there, I was watching a live podcast between two people talking about sales and
Yep.
sales strategy.
Okay.
And it was boring because they were both saying the same thing
Yeah.
verbatim, right? They would
Talking
agree
past
with
each
each other.
other.
Sorry, they were agreeing with each other. So there was
Mm.
no controversy.
Okay.
Okay. And after watching for 10 minutes, I couldn't stomach anymore. And I wrote him an email and I said, I could really help your podcast by bringing in a third party perspective or being devil's advocate or bring, a different vantage point.
Right.
And I got no response
Okay.
because obviously they didn't like that idea.
Mm.
So one of the reasons why one of my videos got 9.4 million views and I get, 20 million views every 14 days or so is
Hmm.
because I'm controversial. I
Mm.
bring controversial ideas to the table, which are not accepted by the mainstream business owner. Okay. So I want to bring some controversy to our live events um, in a respectful way.
Okay.
Okay. Um,
What does that look like?
Well, I envision having, let's say, 10 people on the panel,
Okay.
and someone comes in and asks a question. They may ask you a question. I'm
Hmm.
having a problem with my employees. They're lazy fuckers. They don't do anything. They don't do what I tell them. I have to tell them 50 times to do the same thing. And you might talk about, a case study where you
Hmm.
work with a client and this is what you did. So you're able to talk about your experience as long as it's in that case study form.
Hmm.
You can't
Okay.
promote yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Promoting yourself is not allowed, but using your services in a case study, that's encouraged.
Hmm.
Okay. So you could say, I was able to do this, this, and this. And someone else would say, well, I disagree with that, Matthew, respectfully, because I had the opposite experience. When I did that, this is what happened, right?
Hmm.
So I want to have a debate. I don't want everybody, 10 people on the panel to each agree, yeah, that's a perfect idea. No, that's not what I want. That's boring
Hmm.
shit. Nobody's going to stick around to watch boring shit.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why, live, not reality shows function on TV is because of the controversy,
Hmm.
right? Because they get people's attention. So if we're going to get, the highest I've had on my lives was around 230 people. If we're going
Hmm.
to get to 500 or 1,000 people, we're going to need to have controversy.
Hmm. Okay.
What are your thoughts
Um,
on that, or how comfortable are you with that?
so let's from when you say controversy, what I imagine is kind of like a conversation we saw earlier today, right? You when we were on, you, myself, and Michael right? And everything that you brought to the table, he essentially counteracted, right? Like he had his own viewpoints and he didn't agree with
Mikos,
them, but
I think it was Mikos, wasn't it? I
yeah,
was
yeah.
pronouncing it Mikos. Maybe it wasn't.
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but
Yeah, but he was definitely defensive.
yeah, yeah. So like is when you say controversy, do you mean like that or do you mean conflicting viewpoints but brought in like a respectable manner where we have a conversation around it and tease out why one way is better than the other?
Well, one way might be better than the other for me,
Hmm.
but you may have a different perspective.
Right.
And I want you to say respectfully, Leo, I disagree with that statement because of this, this, and this.
I see. Okay, so yeah, just it's more so a debate than anything.
Yeah.
I the way that things went earlier, I thought that's what you meant by controversy is like you have someone that is not really listening 100%.
Yeah, he wasn't really listening. But I persisted and he started to come around, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the next live, if he shows up and you were engaging with him, he was a lot softer thereafter. I think he stuck
Hmm.
around for a bit.
Yeah.
But a good example is Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
They don't always agree,
Right.
right? And there is some controversy between them.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, they respect each other. You know, they work with each other, and they can have an argument 1 minute and have a beer next minute,
Hmm.
right?
Yep. That's
That
how my friend group is.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Beautiful. I can get behind that. That's look. I have five sisters, and each of we were all brought up in the form of debate. Like if you're going to argue your point, you have to do so respectfully. You need to state accurate viewpoints as to why it works in this situation. So like this is nothing new to me. It kind of carries with me everywhere I go. I back everything up by statistics or facts or experiences that follow suit. So
Yeah.
um I did have a question. You said earlier that you haven't found anyone that was willing to do the work. What do you mean by that? So like what
Well,
work are
doing the
people not
work in
willing?
terms of promoting the live
Okay.
events, right?
Hmm.
Because to get 230 people for 12 noon, I used to post 3 or 4 videos in the morning between 7 and 9 a.m. to
Hmm.
promote the event for that day.
Okay.
And sometimes I would post videos before reminding people we were going to have a live event tomorrow,
Hmm.
right?
So is it content based? Like at the end of a content video, you would say also don't forget, or is it just straight up a video? Hey, we're
Both.
posting today. Oh, okay.
Try
All right.
both and see what works best.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Numbers don't lie,
Hmm.
right? Suggesting at the end doesn't always work because 98% of the people watch the first 3 seconds of the video,
Hmm.
right? So if
Yeah.
you're going to suggest it in the hook, then
Yeah.
back up the hook with a statement.
I see.
Yeah. So
Okay.
hooks are extremely important.
When we were on the call, it from my perspective, it seemed like it was like you were trying not to say LinkedIn specifically.
Well,
Was there?
you can't promote other platforms.
Oh, as soon as it hears like
Oh
other
yeah, you
they
cannot.
just
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know that. So I'm learning. I'm new to TikTok. I started posting about a week ago. I already have like 40 or 50 followers.
Okay.
None of them are like people that I know. I've just been posting every day essentially.
Okay.
So I'm staying consistent with that. I have two different pages. The other one has about 10 followers on them, but again, they're all strangers. So I must be doing something right. And if this is like the first week or two, I can only imagine that will grow further. I think the average of all my videos so far, the average count that I get is somewhere between 700 to 1,000 views per video that I post.
Okay, that's pretty damn good considering you've only been on it for a week. So you must be doing something right.
I have no idea. Because I remember I tried TikTok a couple years ago, back when COVID was in full swing, and back then I couldn't breach beyond about 212, like 212 views, and they would just cut flat. And now it's I even ones that don't seem like they're really pushing very much will get beyond 600. So I don't know what they changed. Um, but I'm getting consistent likes. I can tell you what my most recent numbers are. I posted earlier today as well.
You can share the screen if you want.
Oh, okay. Sure. Let's do that instead. Awesome. Let me tiktok.com/@b Holland, and then I will share. Is it this one? It looks like that one. Yeah. So this is the one that I posted earlier today. This one has 12 likes, but also has 200 views. The one that I posted yesterday was 64 likes, 5 comments, 5 saves. The one before that was 658, 5 likes, 5 comments, 1 save. The one before that was just about 700, 68 likes, 10 comments, 13 saves. I have no idea what the correlation between what is saved, liked, and commented on and how that pushes. I have no clue because I've seen some things are saved a lot but don't get pushed any further. Some things are
Mhm.
liked a lot but don't get pushed any further. Some I'm getting like actual engagement from people and
Yeah, I would rate engagement higher than anything else.
hmm, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
want people to engage in the comments. And that's why you can stop sharing now.
Yeah.
That's why you don't want to be too informative.
Hmm.
Okay. You don't want to put everything on the table. You want to leave room for questions.
Hmm.
You want to leave room for clarification. You want to leave room for misunderstanding.
Hmm.
Okay.
For
So
them to okay, so they can ask questions, you answer questions, and now you have a stream of people coming back and looking at other videos and that kind of thing.
sometimes being a little misleading is the way you want to go.
I'm listening. Like a little misleading. Okay,
Yeah.
so like,
Well, I created a video, the top 10 worst businesses you can start.
mhm,
And I knew real estate. If I said real estate, trucking, and restaurants are tied for the absolute worst businesses you can start today, I
mhm,
knew that was going to create controversy
hmm,
because people love real estate. But what I said in the fine print was return on capital investment from a
okay, I
see
see.
what I did
Yeah,
there? But most people don't watch the end,
mhm,
right? So and then they commit to saying, Leo, how dare you think real estate? I've made millions and this and that, and they start getting irate, right?
hmm,
But they already posted 3 or 4 comments, right? So sometimes you don't want to tell the full truth,
hmm.
or you tell your version of the truth from a certain perspective.
And they're not going to pay attention to the perspective because they're just
Exactly,
going
because as I said, 98% only watch the first few seconds of the video,
to right.
right?
The headline. Um, I think it's interesting. I think I have a special ability when it comes to throwing the grenade.
Okay, explain
So,
that.
um, the best way I can say it is knowing how to be inflammatory.
Using inflammatory language, I love that.
Not
Or stirring the shit.
stirring the pot. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I earlier today I went into a fountain pen Facebook group because I've recently gotten into fountain pens. So I was in that Facebook group, and I don't know if you know, but Mont Blanc is one of the more common names, right?
right.
Like
Yeah,
it's probably like the Mercedes Benz or BMW of the fountain pen industry.
right.
I've never liked them. I've never once liked those pens. I think they look basic. I think they look boring and a little bit too corporate for me. So I went in there and I just posted, I'm going to say something inflammatory. I don't understand why people love Mont Blanc pens. That post within an hour had over 100 comments and over 70 likes, like engagement pieces, right? So likes, loves, laughs, like all the different things. People were going in that comment section. And I was like, "Oh, okay, so I know how to how to get people
Fire
riled."
people up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
Okay.
I wouldn't have said I'm about to say something inflammatory. I would have skipped that part.
Mm. That hooks them more for some reason.
Does it? Okay.
Like it's almost it sparks the curiosity. It's like you know that what you're going to see next is going to piss you off, but you still want to know what it is. I don't know why. Because I did the same thing in a different one, but I didn't use that first line, and it did get engagement, but it only went up to like 50 reactions, like likes, laughs, loves, that kind of thing, and 40 comments. So like I think I don't know what it is about that first comment, but they read that and know what they're getting into, but it draws them in, and then they look at the second thing and then they get pissy. And I got a
Yeah.
lot of people, like some people loved it, some people hated it, some people were like, this is interesting, and just having a conversation, like, hey, now that we're all here, let's talk. So I think that's what I do with my TikTok short form video content as well. I think that's what hooks the people in.
Okay.
But if
And
if this will help me reach more business owners, more executives to create more positive um like work environments, I'm all for it. And I'm no stranger to hosting events or anything like that. So
okay.
I know how to handle a room.
We used to host live events, networking events, just before COVID.
Hmm.
We used to get about 200 people showing up
Hmm.
at live events, but it
Okay.
was a lot of work to promote. We used to have to send out about 20,000 emails
Hmm.
to get 180 to 200 people to show up. And the hook that we were using is come up to the live events. We'll give you a shot at promoting your business live on LinkedIn, live
Hmm.
on Facebook, right? So
Hmm.
people wanted to do that, but a lot
Yeah.
of people came and wanted to do that, but they were too shy to do that. So they were building up the
Hmm.
courage to do that. Then COVID hit, and all that work went down the toilet.
Yeah.
So
So what do you have anything that you're working on right now?
in terms of, I'm always working on something. I'm looking for more clients for my consulting business.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Um we've spoken a lot on kind of what my 5-year goals are. Can I hear some of what your 5-year goals are as well?
Well, I want to launch WildLedgerLion .com
Mhm.
as soon as possible before March of 27.
Okay.
I want to launch a painting business as well.
Hmm.
And I want to get more clients. I'm trying to get 20 clients to pay me $100,000 a year for my interim CEO program.
Okay. That's awesome. Have you been doing like consulting for a long time then?
Only 40 years, so I'm still learning.
Only 40
Yeah.
years. Okay. I'm just curious because I saw some of your content. You talk on some interesting pieces. I always love talking about the business side of things, but I think that a lot of people, one of the issues that I've been running into is that a lot of the business owners see me as the young, scrappy person, less than, hey, I've had to work alongside of the government version of C-suite executives for multiple years. I know what they think, or I know how they think, I know what they look for, I know what they lack. And so these are like that's I've been the intermediary between like the top of the food chain all the way down to the bottom and be like, these are the things that you're missing and this is why we're having these problems. So I'm still breaking out of that mold, but I know how to talk the talk, so to speak.
Okay. One of the
Um,
questions that I had was, why don't you start a internet security business with your experience?
that comes down to where my strong suit is, right? So I feel like when it comes to tech, there are a lot of smart people that are really good with tech, right? But tech is so low barrier to entry because to be good at tech, you just need information, and the internet is full of information. So whoever is willing to sit down and crack the books for long enough is the one that will know enough. But when it comes to communication, a lot of those types that are willing to crack the books forget to do that kind of interactivity to learn how to communicate properly. And I think that my strong suit is being able to hold attention while communicating properly to like better pick people's minds and have them pull out those pieces that are important for them. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So I wanted to play more into my strong suit rather than play into a game that I might win, might not. Like I love tech. I'm all about cell phones and whatever is the new hot thing, but I think that my communication skills are far superior.
Okay. All right. We really should have done this call on the live event, but
I mean, we're gonna be co-hosting, so it's not like I won't be here again.
no. But I believe everything you do should be for a purpose,
Mm,
right?
right.
I share pretty much everything with social media. I show my flaws, I show my vulnerabilities, I
Hmm.
show a lot of things.
Right.
Um, so uh, and you were saying Tuesdays and Fridays at 12 noon.
Right. So Wednesdays, it's like I'm part of two different masterminds. One of them does Tuesday, or sorry, 12 o'clock everyday calls, but the Tuesday calls doesn't do much for me, so I can miss the Tuesday calls, no problem. The Wednesday call is more of like the business side of things, so I would ideally be able to stay part of that. On Friday at 12 o'clock is no problem. Like Fridays, I'm
Well, it
right
doesn't
here.
have to be 12 o'clock. I mean, it could be 1 o'clock or 1:30 or 2 o'clock.
Mm.
The reason why I want it in the afternoon is so we can capture Europe,
Ah,
right?
smart. Smart, smart, smart. Let me open up my calendar. I think that was one of the best things I ever did was start living out of my calendar instead of otherwise. Um Tuesday, I think Wednesday 1 o'clock looks pretty good. Tuesday
But it would
12 to
be
1.
every day. So you would mark it off your calendar to make sure no one else can book stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would like every Tuesday or every Wednesday. I would mark my calendar so it's just there permanently. This is what I
Yeah.
do every
The
time with
reason
that
why I
client.
like Wednesday is because it's hump day,
Mm.
right? People start relaxing towards the weekend. So
Hmm.
we do Wednesdays and Fridays and eventually add Mondays,
Okay.
right?
Um, that would work for me as well. So if you want to do Wednesdays at 1 o'clock,
Okay.
Friday at 12 o'clock, that works perfectly in my schedule.
Okay. And you're willing to promote the live events at those times before the events?
Yeah. Um, I am very big on how to do things, right? So if I'm stepping into something that I've never done before, I do like seeing what has been done in the past to see how things work to get an idea of what the quote unquote right way or best way to do like lean towards is. So if you have any examples of how you've promoted in the past, then I can take some inspiration from them and go that way. But if not, then I'll just
Yeah, it's
send it.
all about the hook.
Mm,
Um, is is 2024 the year you're going to start a business?
mm,
Are you finally going to start a business this year?
mm,
If so, join us on the live events today at
mm.
1 o'clock Eastern, something like that.
So what kind of people do you want me to speak to? Are you looking for entrepreneurs like entrepreneurs that are starting, entrepreneurs that are in or the early stages, or entrepreneurs that are in the middle and later?
All of them, all of them,
All of them.
including people who have jobs, hate their jobs, and dream of starting a business at some point.
Mm,
They will engage, and those
right.
are the people that engage the most. The
Mm,
people who already have a business and are looking to scale, those people are hard to get to engage.
mm,
So I'd rather have 1,000 people that want to start businesses. At least they ask questions and engage.
hmm.
And that engagement will bring the people that want to scale their businesses.
I see.
That's what I find, anyways. I
Okay.
would like to reverse those numbers, but it is what it is.
Mm,
Okay. So
okay.
let's do Wednesday 1 o'clock, Friday 1 o'clock.
Friday, 12 o'clock.
No, 1 o'clock. Let's be consistent with
Mm.
the time.
That's going to be, oh boy.
Okay.
I have a Friday at 1 p.m. So
Um,
then, hmm.
what about 2 o'clock?
I can do
Wednesday
two
and
o'clock.
Friday at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, Friday, Wednesday, 2 o'clock is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll schedule. I'll put that in right now. Then
All right, so we'll see you on Wednesday,
tomorrow.
tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Beautiful. Awesome. When you post the promotion video, I'll take a look at it and then I will do something similar based off what I see.
Well, no, we are
No?
experimenting.
Okay.
So what I'm going to post is not guaranteed to work. I'm still
Hmm.
experimenting there. I haven't done
Okay.
enough experimenting there.
Gotcha.
So just use whatever hook you think would work or resonate with the people that you communicate with.
Okay. Can you send me this video recording? Like
Sure.
this meeting? I think we've spoken on a couple interesting pieces that I could probably chop up, put on TikTok and be like, hey, if you want more of this, we're about to go live. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay,
Have a good
doke. See
night.
you tomorrow.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye.